Hey, what's up everybody? This is Dad Life Bbq. Kind of a channel I'm just starting up here. Kind of just see if it gets any traction. Just a little introduction about myself. My name is Ryan. I'm a dad of 2 girls. Busy life. Husband. Have a couple dogs. And I'm just starting this channel up just for people to kind of learn some tips and tricks on how to smoke some food and make some good food for your family or friends. I use a pellet grill for smoking. It just kind of allows for one, convenience. You don't have to be standing out in a stick burner, offset smoker, add wood to it all the time. You just basically set it and forget it, which is convenient for somebody that's busy. You know, I work like 10, 11 hours a day, come home, have their routines with the kids and sports and all that types of stuff. And, you know, I just like to do that for convenience purposes. But anyway, what we're gonna be smoking today is a pork butt. This pork butt's from Wild Fork. I never smoked a pork butt from there before. Typically I just get one from the grocery store, but yeah, I'm gonna be smoking this up. I'll show you how I get it prepped up. We're gonna be putting it on at like 5 o'clock in the morning right now. It's about 9:30 at night. So I'm just gonna get it prepped up, get it in this, get it on this cookie sheet and let it sit in the fridge overnight. So basically I can get up at 5 and just throw it right on the smoker. So yeah, let's get this thing seasoned up and we'll get it in the fridge, get it ready to go for tomorrow. I'm just gonna put one glove on, like to keep one clean hand, one dirty hand. Okay, let's get this sucker opened up here. This is about a 9-pounder. It's like 8.5 pounds. I'm guessing it's probably gonna take about, I don't know, probably about 10, 12 hours or so. I'm probably gonna smoke it around 250. I normally like to do 225, like super low and slow, but I have about, I'm gonna get up at 5 in the morning. Sometimes I do these overnight, so I'm gonna start off a little bit hotter, but let me get this out of the cryovac here. I just like doing pork butt because, especially for this first video, it's super easy. Anybody can do it, and you don't really need much. You just need a rub and that's basically it. You don't need to inject. You don't need to do any of that stuff. Sometimes you don't even need to trim. I want to see what this looks like when we get it out of here. So let's get it out of the package here. Get rid of this nasty bag. All right, so this is what it looks like. Basically, not a lot of fat on here. What I'll probably do is I'm just gonna score this fat. It'll just help it render down in the cooker, and it'll help get a little bit of seasonings in between the slits there. So let me just pat this dry. Some people use a binder. It's usually pretty moist right out of the cryovac there. So we'll get it seasoned up. We're gonna be cooking this fat side down. You know, there's a lot of people out there that cook fat side up, fat side down. My preference on a pellet smoker is just to cook it fat side down. Reason being is all your heat is coming from the bottom. That fire pot's right down there at the bottom. So all your heat's coming from there, so that fat layer is gonna help protect the meat. So we're gonna flip this over. You don't have to necessarily push super hard into this fat. You kind of just want to make some cross hatches and just push down nice steady pressure, but you don't have to go, you know, you don't have to push super hard. As you see, we'll just get some cross hatches in here. Like so, as you can see. Seasonings I'm gonna be using is this Traeger Reserve Cherry Rub. I really like this because it's, I just like to get a base layer of that. Reason I like to do that is because it's got some thick, coarse granules, which helps make a nice crust on it. And then I'll finish it off with this Meat Church Honey Hog Barbecue. I love this stuff. I prefer sweet on a lot of my rubs, especially pork. So what we'll do, we'll just start off with a base layer of this Traeger Cherry Reserve. Just get a nice even coat on top here. Actually, cool thing about this thing is pop up the sides like so, and then your seasoning's not going all over the place. So let's just get this seasoned up. You don't have to be shy with seasoning on a big cut of meat like this. Like I was saying, it's like almost 9 pounds. So this thing can take a lot of rub. And most of it's just gonna be right on the surface. So I'll just get a quick base layer on here. Make sure you get your sides. And this cherry rub is going to give us a lot of nice color too. Help us build a nice bark on the smoker. All right, so we got that nice base layer. Then we're going to come in with this this meat church honey hog. Go pretty heavy on this. Start on the fat cap because that's going to be the side that I'm putting down on the smoker. So the presentation side is going to be the meat side up. And you see, I'm just putting this rub on and patting it in. You don't want to rub it because that's going to kind of smear it off. So we'll get this all covered up here, like so. Yeah, I really love this. All meat church products, man, I really like all of them. The Gospel, the Holy Gospel, Holy Voodoo. I mean, they have a ton of good products, but this one is by far my favorite. I use it on a lot. I mean, you can use it on veggies, chicken. Yeah, there's just a lot of variety you can use on this. So we'll get a base layer on this, or we'll get our layer on here. By the way, this is a bone-in pork butt. So, all right, we got it all seasoned up, as you can see. I'm just gonna get it on this this wire rack here, and we'll just stick it in the fridge overnight, uncovered. It'll kind of allow some of this. It'll allow all this rub to kind of sweat in. It'll pull some of the moisture out and get the seasoning all wet and kind of absorb into the meat. So that's what it's going to look like. We're going to get it in the fridge, and we'll see you guys at like 5 in the morning. All right, guys, I'm back. It's about 10 after 5 on Saturday morning. Might seem a little early, but normally I'm up at this time anyway. Actually, I'm usually at work by now, so this is great for me. Just up in the morning with you know, no interruptions. Everybody's sleeping still. I let the dogs out this morning. I got me some tasty C4, you know. Anyway, as you can see, we got our pork butt here. We pulled it out of the fridge. It's been sitting in the fridge overnight, uncovered, to kind of just let some of that rub set in and sweat into the meat. Also, I didn't want to wake up at 4 o'clock and have to prep all of it and get it ready. So that's why we got it ready last night. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna apply another thin coat of rub on top of here, and also a little bit of coarse black pepper just to give it a little bit of bite and also to help some bark form. So, like I said, I'm just gonna put a little bit of dusting on here. I like to season up high. It just gives the, you're just able to get a more even coat basically on whatever you're cooking. And like I said, I'm gonna be cooking on a pellet grill. I think I'm gonna do about 250 for this whole cook. Normally I like to do 225, but I'm guessing at 250, I don't know, it's all guesswork, but I'm guessing at 250, it's probably gonna take about 10 to 12 hours, and right now it's 5 o'clock and we're probably gonna eat around 6. So I'd like to get this on for, like I said, probably hopefully 10, 12 hours. If it's getting a little towards the end of the cook, I can crank it up to 275, 300 and kind of push it through. But what we're gonna be doing is putting it on the pellet grill at 250. I'm using a combination of hickory, cherry apple pellets, that cherry and apple, that goes great with pork. It also gives it a great color. So yeah, we're gonna be using cooking pellets is what I like to use. Just helps get a nice smoke flavor on there, but you can use whatever pellets you want. Yeah, we'll be putting this on at 250. I'm not even gonna look at it for probably 2 hours or so. It's 28 degrees right now, and the humidity's a little low, so I'm probably gonna have to introduce some moisture through a spray bottle. I'll probably be using apple cider vinegar and apple juice. That's another thing I like to use with pork. One great feature of pellet grills is that you can monitor everything remotely, at least most of them. Most of the current ones that are out these days, you can monitor everything right from your phone. So what you can do is you can go right into your app. I use my Recteq app. What you do, you go in there, you can even just turn your grill on, set it to the temperature you want. It'll give you a notification when your grill is up to temp. So you just go out, put your meat on, and then I'm not gonna put a probe in right away because I know it's gonna be a long cook. So when I go out at 2 or 4 hours, I'll go out and check periodically. I'll throw a probe in eventually. Then you can set timers on the app. You can go in and select what type of meat you're cooking and the recommended temperature. So what we're gonna do, actually, now that I mentioned that, we're gonna wanna take this thing around between 155 and 170, somewhere in there. So what we'll do at that point is we'll take it out off the grill, we'll bring it inside, wrap it in an aluminum foil pan with some aluminum foil on top, throw it back in the smoker in the pellet grill. But let's get the grill fired up and get this pork butt on there. All right, as you guys can see, I got my little workstation set up here. Here's the Recteq grill. Nothing fancy here, just literally one hand holding the camera, and we're gonna try to get this big piece of meat on this grill. All right. So lift it up. As you can see, we're nice and smoky in there. Well, you probably can't see it, but all right, let's try and get this bad boy on without messing up this seasoning. Sorry for that poor footage. So I could not get it on one-handed, but anyway, here it is on the grill, right in the middle. We're gonna let this bad boy go for about 2 hours, and then we'll come out and check it and see how we're doing. All right, guys, it's been about 2 hours. This Recteq's been going rock solid at 250 the whole morning, even though it's, I think, 25 degrees right now. If my camera's shaking, it's because I'm shivering, because I am in Crocs and socks and shorts. You know, anyway. So yeah, I'm gonna open up this lid, check this thing out. I just wanna see the color. I know it's nowhere near done right now. I just want to check the color and just make sure it's getting enough moisture. Oh yeah, it's already looking good. As you can see, it's getting a nice mahogany color. The fat's starting to split here on the side a little bit, but you can still see on top the bark or the seasoning hasn't really set yet. As you can see, it's still around my finger. So at this point, I don't want to spray yet or spritz. I'm just gonna shut the lid. I'll set the timer for an hour and we'll come back out and check then. Yep, and now the easy part. Just sitting here and waiting, watching some Guy Fieri on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. Snuggling on the couch with my daughter and my dog. Okay, it's been about a total cook time so far of 4 hours. What I want to do is just open up this lid and take a look at the pork butt, see that it still has some moisture on it, and see if the rub has set. If it needs a spritz, I'll give it a spritz. What I have over there to the left is just a 50-50 mix of apple juice and apple cider vinegar. You can use just apple juice or just apple cider, or you can use just water. All it is you're just wanting to get some moisture on top of that pork butt just to keep it from drying out. We take a look here. You can see that the rub's starting to set pretty good. If you look at my finger, there's not any on there. There's still some moisture on there, but I think I'm just going to introduce a little bit just to make sure it doesn't dry out, especially there along the back side. You can see it's starting to get some good color, but we'll just give it a good spritz here. You don't want to douse it too much, but let's get a spray on there. You can see the bone starting to pop out to one side. Now, what I'm going to do is I probably will get a probe in here shortly, but that's what it looks like right now. We'll come back and check in about another hour. All right, guys, we're about 5 hours in. I just wanted to show you real quick. I came out, gave it one more spritz. You can see the bark starting to form real nice. It's crazy. You can see we got the probe in. The cool thing about the probe is that you can also check it from your phone, just to maintain your temperature. And you can set it on your phone. I'll probably set it for somewhere around 160, so I know to come out and check it then, and probably wrap around that time. Also, on this grill, it has the reading for the probe around this side too. So yeah, we'll see you in a little bit. Okay, so as you can see, I have removed the pork butt from the smoker, and man, did we get a nice bark on this thing. We took it to about 160, what I said, and it's been hanging around 160 for probably like 25-30 minutes or so. So I know it's hit that stall. I know it's time to remove. Plus, we got the color that we wanted. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove it from this cookie sheet. I'm gonna put it in this aluminum, this heavy duty aluminum tray that I like to use. So we'll get that put on, we'll get that put in here. Holy moly, this thing is just dripping juice out of it. And what I like to do is I'll take a couple pats of butter, put it right on top here. If you're wondering how I'm handling this thing, I have insulated glove liners on too. So put some pats of butter on here. Like so. With a little bit of brown sugar. Just because it'll get a nice glaze on top too. With some brown sugar. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this back out to the smoker. I'm gonna cover this thing with aluminum foil, maybe double. I might do a double layer of aluminum foil, and then what I'll do is I'll just put the probe right through the aluminum foil and into the pork butt, and we'll pull it off around 200, 205, and we'll check it for tenderness. All right, guys, I went ahead and pulled the pork butt off the smoker. It was reading about 208 actually. I took a little nap and woke up and it was basically done. So what I want to show you is just how it should probe for you. If you take like a meat thermometer, I mean, it's reading 206 there, 207. I mean, it literally just goes in. That's what you really want to feel. It literally just goes in with no resistance. So what we're gonna do, I'm just gonna cover this thing up loosely with the foil, put it in a cooler, and just let it rest till I wanna pull it. Hey, what's up everybody? Pork is done. I'm getting ready to pull it out of the cooler and shred it. I got my cotton insulated gloves on. I like using these because it gives me good dexterity still while having insulated gloves on. I know they look like Mickey Mouse gloves, but I put these nitrile or nitrile, however you say it. I'm gonna put these gloves on over top. Then we'll get the pork out. What I'm gonna do is there's a good bit of juice that rendered out of the pork. I'm gonna put that into a fat separator, because what it does is the fat basically comes to the top and the good juice stays at the bottom. So then it has a little hole in the bottom. I'll show you what I mean. It has a little hole in the bottom to where you can just squirt the juice out of the bottom and put that into your pork so you don't lose any of that good juice. Anyway, all right, so let's get this sucker out of here. It's been resting for about 2 hours in this cooler, and I mean, it is still piping hot in here. I'll actually use a temp probe just to see what we're probing at. Oh yeah, looking good. All right, so I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but we're still at over 170 degrees. I don't know if you can see that in there, but that's still pretty stinking hot for sitting for 2 hours. So letting it rest in a cooler is actually a good thing. It kind of lets the muscles relax and some of the juice to absorb back into the meat. So like I said, we're gonna use this fat separator. I don't know if you can see here, but we'll reserve this juice. Like I said, the fat will come to the top and all the good juice will go to the bottom. Here we go, the moment of truth. You know, if you cooked a good pulled pork, that this bone pulls out right here. Oh yeah. Don't need that. And then we'll just get in here and shred this thing up. I like to do like big chunks and not get it like super shredded, but this is what it looks like. So we'll be eating this in about an hour and a half, 2 hours. So hope you guys enjoyed. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up and hope you come back.